Vilnius in Lithuania. And welcome to another live stream with me, Connor Klein, a kind of a spontaneous one this evening. I'm going to give you a comparison between here, Lithuania, and neighboring Latvia. I was recently living the New York experience, my rebranded Tsar experience, with a client who wanted to split his time between Vilnius and between Riga. So after another big trip here with him, I'm in a position to better describe to you the differences between the two and what you can expect if you come to either this summer. Got a little bit of an allergy, but I did take an antihistamine. So we are, as you see, beautiful, basically early summer weather at this point. And if you're new to this channel, Labas, my name is Connor Klein. I help high-level men with living their dream lifestyles in a region that I've dubbed New Europe. So basically the countries between Russia and Germany. And in particular, I focus on, especially over the last year or so, the three Baltic states, so Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia. Also have brought a lot of clients to Warsaw in Poland. But I'm most well known for back in the day as having the premier channel for lifestyle as a foreigner in Ukraine. Of course, we have the Russo-Ukrainian war, and that has disrupted business considerably with relocation to Ukraine. It's made it a lot less attractive, of course. And back in those days, I also went a lot to Belarus, but times have changed, of course, so I'm focusing on those regions. Also, I have filmed and brought clients to Moldova and Kazakhstan, and I've actually filmed in Romania. Did I ever bring a client? No, I never brought a client yet to Romania, but many to Moldova and to Kazakhstan. So those are the countries I think are the best options for my clients in general. So on these live streams, it's an opportunity for us to have a bit more of an informal chat. It's obviously a bit of a public service, doing it here on YouTube. And I'll give you a little bit of presentation for a pretty short one today about differences to expect between Lithuania and Latvia. Maybe these are countries that you're not familiar with, that you haven't heard much about, so it will be good for you to hear about them. And you can ask your questions and put your comments down below in the underneath this live stream as I conduct it. So first of all, just before I get into that, I actually have a pretty cool announcement for me personally, I guess, for this brand, as the first offspring is going to come into the world as a result of the New Europe experience. At the time it was branded Tsar experience. As one of my clients, his girlfriend is currently pregnant, Belarusian model who we met clubbing with me back in Minsk back in the day. So pretty exciting to hear that and to see that, yeah, there is actually a legacy that's left from all the decadent parties that I have been involved in over the years and all the nights out. So that is something to think about. The first experienced baby will be coming into the world. So not just the first relationship or marriage, but actually the first child that I'm aware of. No one else ever told me. So that is something to be, just an interesting milestone, I guess, for this project. It met back in 2019. You see the amount of time that it can take with a relationship. We met clubbing in Minsk. It's a legendary time to be there, the golden age of clubbing in Minsk. Fortunately, those days are long gone with the political situation there, and so many Belarusians have left, in particular young and ambitious Belarusians. Some could actually come here to Vilnius in Lithuania, or they go to Warsaw in Poland in particular. And yeah, it was kind of interesting because his relationship didn't work out in the beginning. He dropped the ball. He made many mistakes. I guess that was one of the big advantages of having me as his mentor, is that he got several bites at the cherry. And we went back to Minsk a few times, and eventually we started having an actual relationship many months later. I think it was actually towards the end of 2019. So yeah, that's in between. We went together to other places like Kyiv and Odessa, Chisinau, in fact, as well. So kind of see the full loop of things and how it all developed. And now we have the ultimate result. New progeny being brought into the world. So super excited about that. Thought I'd share it with you. If you're interested in applying for the New Europe experience, down below in the description is an application form. and basically you can come here and enjoy under my mentorship an unforgettable week. And there's curated networking if you want to invest in the region. We can get lots of content for your social media, and of course we will hang out with my local crew, set up your lifestyle for living your dream setup here in the region. Like my client who came with me, he's been with me several times, and like the guy who I talked about who's now going to become a dad. And what attracts most of you guys, we're gonna party with the Baltic beauties here in the region, and that should make it an unforgettable week for you, up to a week. So down below is the application form in the description. And yeah, maybe come here to see the allure of New Europe, as I dub it. Countries like here, Lithuania and Latvia, with the cobblestone streets and the model-filled summer clubs. And it can be a new chapter and a new love affair with this region in general. So down below in the description is an application form. That is by application only. I actually changed the application form recently, so now you don't have to have a Google account. I think that was because I had it in Google Forms for the last few years, but now I've put it in with Typeform, so you can just literally type in your information. You don't have to sign up for some other account. Probably should have changed that a few years ago as well. But anyways, I've done it but lately now. So if you haven't applied before, then apply down below. Even if it doesn't work out, because I screen every candidacy, there is a special offer if you have filled out the application form in any case. So go fill that out down below. So let me get into very briefly our presentation, or my presentation to you today. Maybe Latvia and Lithuania are countries you've never visited, you don't know much about, maybe can't even find on the map. You're currently looking at Google Maps. So they speak kind of similar languages. I mean, there is a little bit of overlap between Latvian and Lithuanian. They're Baltic in general, and been here many times with clients both in Vilnius and in Riga. I've also visited other cities in the region like Kaunas, the second city of Lithuania, went there with a client. Also been to Daugavpils, which is the second city of Latvia, on my own a couple of times. And there's another third city here at Klaipėda that may also be of interest, particularly in the summer. Got beautiful scenery down there. So Lithuania is now the economic powerhouse of the three Baltic states. It's taken over from Estonia. The economy is stronger and going stronger, and it feels very dynamic. A lot of the city's been renovated. I actually came here first in 2008 with my German girlfriend at the time, and it's kind of funny, we were talking about it. Her previous boyfriend to me actually now lives in Vilnius, and he's German. And I'm hanging out here quite a bit, and she actually has a partner. Her partner is from Lithuania as well, and they have a son together. So I'm always saying, what how did this all work out? We took a trip here in 2008, and it was a bit grim here in 2008. This was obviously a long time ago. At this point, it's 17 years ago. And how things have changed. The city is really nice. It's been renovated all the time. There's building new stuff and beautifying the city. And yeah, overall, you just got a lot of old world architecture here. It's very similar in feel to Poland. If you've been to Poland, then you'll understand most people here, the main religion is Catholicism, so there's a lot of Catholic churches around, other churches as well, and synagogues and stuff. But that is something that they share with Poland. It was one country at one point, right? You had the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, and as a result, you have very similar kind of architectural feel here in Lithuania. One big difference, and I'll just get to straight away, is the language. Here, Lithuanian is spoken, obviously in Poland, Polish is spoken, and I would say the level of English is quite high, and Lithuanians, as well as Latvians, are a lot more forgiving if you don't speak their language than you're going to find in Poland. That's one of my big things that isn't highlighted by a lot of content creators who go to Poland. If you don't speak Polish, it's pretty hard to socialize in Poland, even though the level of English is quite high there. It's just that it's a pretty big country. It's got a population of 40 million people, and as a result, they kind of expect people to learn and speak Polish. Whilst that's not the same here, you'll get a lot more leeway socializing in English than you will in Polish, which is why I think for guys who are trying to maybe just new to the region, that the three Baltic states are a lot better. Of course, the one downside is that the population here is probably around, it's a bit over 500,000. It's a bit bigger in Riga. It's about 800,000. So if you're looking for a big metropolis, like a city of well over 1 million, then you're going to go to Warsaw in the region. That's clear. It's between 2 and 3 million there. or you're going to go to Ukraine in spite of the Russo-Ukrainian war, where you have big cities like Kiev, which is, probably over 4 million at this point, even with the Russo-Ukrainian war, because a lot of people have moved from the east to Kiev, whilst a lot of Kievians have moved to the European Union. So in general, you have that very beautiful old world architecture throughout the city, and local food is really good here. Enjoy it quite a lot. Price level, it is not bargain basement prices. It is going to be around 30% cheaper than going to somewhere in Western Europe that's very popular. You can talk about Paris or London, even a similar sized city in Western Europe, we'll say, or in North America. And so you do have a barrier to entry. It's not like going to, I don't know, Southeast Asia or parts of Latin America where it's going to be 20% of the price or 30% of the price. It's going to be 30% cheaper. So that barrier to entry is good in some ways, because you don't have a lot of cheap tourism coming here and kind of trashing the place, or you don't have like the sex tourists that you would have had maybe 20 years ago coming to Lithuania. In general, you don't have that crowd anymore. You do have a lot of tourism. It is accessible. A lot of flights here from all over Europe. Probably not so many from North America. I don't think there's any from North America basically to the region yet, although I think that will change pretty soon. Probably Riga will get flights to North America, I think, at some point, because the airport there is the biggest. And yeah, it's just like really nice atmosphere, very safe. There isn't really much issue with crime here. It has a lot of the IT sector, if you're interested in that, just in the Baltics in general. So in Poland, you have a certain amount of industry with that. And of course, if you were the single guy, which is going to be most of the people who watch my channel, then yeah, here, this whole region in general is like model central. Estonia is the country in the world with the highest percentage of models per capita. Number 3 is here in Lithuania. Number 5 is Latvia. If you look at cities where between 20 and 35 years of age, the female to male ratio, the best city in the world is actually London. But number 2 is Riga, and number 3 is Vilnius. So you just have a lot of women between 20 and 35. You have very high percentage per capita of models. So you got that model beauty. People in general are reasonably tall here. I think the average height for women is 169 centimeters. I can't remember what that's going to be in feet and inches, but I'm 178 and I'm 5'10" basically. So I guess that's, I don't know what it is, 5'6" maybe is the average height, maybe it's 5'5". But I'm guessing it's 169 centimeters. Someone can do a conversion there. And just have that, you have a very good ratio of female to male if you're a single guy. In a city like Riga or Vilnius, it's kind of pretty similar in that sense. And yeah, just the model beauty is here. It's all in this region. So it is, if you are not a guy who doesn't have any resources to come and spend any money, then maybe this is not the spot for you, because it's not going to be big in basement prices. It is not a passport bro destination. The women are not desperate here. But if you are a guy of reasonably high value, you have that abundance mindset, then yeah, this is the place to, and you like model beauty, this is the best spot in the world. Of course, bigger cities like Warsaw, they do attract also, a lot of attractive women from the region as well. But I would say overall, percentage-wise, if you look at, and also number 5 city in the world, or in Europe for female to male ratio between 20 and 35 is actually Warsaw. So I would say that, yeah, this is one of the best cities in terms of the values. You don't have, I always simplify, you don't have so much of the woke nonsense that you'll find in parts of North America and really the core Anglosphere in this region. But at the same time, it's pretty welcoming. It's not like there's, massive issues if you come here and say you're a foreigner. In general, people are pretty friendly in my experience in both Vilnius and in Riga, since I'm doing the comparison between those two today. So yeah, if you're a single guy, this is why I come with my clients who are high level to this region. And yeah, they love it. I'll go into a little bit more about our experience in a second, but Riga, for example, is a bigger city, vibrant nightlife. I think the nightlife in Riga is way superior to anywhere else in the region, whether that's Tallinn or Kaunas, the second city of Lithuania, or here in Vilnius. It's not really comparable. Riga is definitely number 1 in that sense. Riga also has a bigger Russian-speaking population, is probably about 50-50 in the city. Whilst here in Vilnius, I think about 10% of the population is actually ethnically Polish. And then you have a lot of Belarusians that come here because they can immigrate here. So a lot of young Belarusians, a lot of Ukrainians. And yeah, you have a certain native speaking Russian population here as well, but it's pretty minor. So I would say that, yeah, if you happen to speak Russian, it'll be of some value to you in Riga. Certain parts of the city, a lot of socializing is in Russian, other parts it's in Latvian, you can use English. Whilst here it would be mainly using your English unless you happen to speak Lithuanian. But you would meet Belarusians and Ukrainians here as well, quite a lot, quite frequently, I would say. What other things? Local food, I don't think there's that many kind of local cuisine restaurants in Riga. If that's of interest to you, I think here in Lithuania there's a huge amount. But then you have more international cuisine and higher scale restaurants, I would say, in Riga. So Riga for kind of the glamour and the glitz and a bigger city, then I think that is the superior option. Whilst here, it's kind of a more homely feel, relaxed, old world architecture, and both are friendly, low crime, nice cities to hang out in. And yeah, if you're a single guy, which is nearly everybody who's going to watch this video, I guess, or this live stream, then this is the part of Europe to be in. And yeah, they're basically modern beauty galore all over the place. And yeah, as long as you're a guy who has a certain amount of value, you should be able to do pretty well here if you invest the time into getting to know the cities and the countries a little bit. Investment opportunities definitely depends on what you're looking for, because the economy has not been so strong in Riga or in Latvia in general. And that means that it's a little bit in the doldrums, whilst here it's thriving in Lithuania. So there is kind of a divergence at the moment. It means that real estate in particular in Riga and in Latvia is way cheaper than it's going to be in the rest of the Baltics. And it is crazy attractive in terms of price. Of course, you do have geopolitical risk. I have another video about investing in real estate in Riga, in Latvia, and I'll probably make a second video over the summer. There should be a link to it down below in the description to this video. And if you're a non-EU citizen and you invest 250,000 euros into property in Latvia, it's limited to certain places, and there's a lot of nuances and minutia to do with that, but there's a video down below, it should be in the description, about that. One maybe I shot about 4 months ago. You will get Schengen residency basically if you make that investment, and you have a pathway to citizenship even if that takes over 10 years. So that makes it more attractive. Also in Latvia you can have dual citizenship, whilst here you cannot have it in Lithuania. So that's why Latvia, if you're thinking long term in the region, it makes a lot of sense. That's the conclusion of my client, is that for him, it makes more sense to be in Riga. He actually prefers the atmosphere in Vilnius, especially during the week. We were kind of joking that, yeah, Vilnius is for the weekdays and then Riga is for the weekends. That's kind of the way it breaks down here, because you have the pulsating, vibrant nightlife of Riga. And yeah, if he's going to buy real estate in the region, it makes more sense in Riga, because he would get a visa. He's American, so he would get residency through that. And just long term, it probably has more scope for growth, because yeah, it's just price is so much lower there today than it is here, relatively speaking. Plus, he does have the option ultimately in getting citizenship, EU citizenship, through that real estate investment. Of course, it will be a long time down the future, and you'd have to learn Latvian, but he has over a decade to do that, and he can be a dual national. Currently in Lithuania, it's not offering him that. So that's what makes, I think, Riga really, for my clients, a little bit more attractive, even if Vilnius is such a pleasant place. And he actually thought that he got on well. He got on better with Lithuanian women than with Latvian women overall. Just he found that he met maybe whatever it is, maybe because it's Catholic. I don't know. I was just going to judge it because he is Catholic actually. He has Irish heritage, but maybe that's just a minor point. I'm really struggling to see why he get on, but also I've gotten on very well with Lithuanian women over the years. I don't know what it is. So maybe it's just having some Irish origins or something in common in that sense. But beauty level is super high in both, and I think we're kind of splitting hairs saying one are better looking than the other. And yeah, maybe here it's a little bit more calmer, maybe a bit more the economy is thriving, so a bit of job opportunities and stuff. Yeah, as opposed to Riga, which is a little bit more the glitz and glamour razzmatazz, I would say. So definitely for the New Europe experience, I'm gonna almost certainly continue to bring my clients to Riga, especially if it's their first trip in the region. Then I think I would actually bring them to Tallinn as the second city in Estonia. And only after that, or they really want to come to Lithuania, maybe go to Klaipėda on the coast where I suggested. But this should give you some guidance about the difference between the two. I don't think there was much else I can really say. They're both fantastic places, and I will be probably spending a lot of time in both over the coming months and maybe years. Let's see with the Russo-Ukrainian war for how long it goes on, because obviously with going to Ukraine, it's been pretty complicated. I will, I had one client who I met, I met a couple of clients in Ukraine in the last year, but it's obviously a different vibe than it was pre-2022. That's pretty obvious. And yeah, we have curfew and all that stuff. While it's here, you can party until sunrise if you want, and that's really going to be attractive during the summer. In the next month or so, we're going to have the summer solstice. It's going to be really long nights up here or long days, should I say. The daylight will stay very long here in the Baltics, the Baltic region. So really, it's the perfect time to be here. The weather is beautiful, as you see behind me, which is very different in the winter here, where it really sucks. There's very little sunlight, rains a lot, but this is the time of year really to come. And yeah, if you want to come to a part of Europe that is, not going to be a huge metropolis in terms of a city over 1 million people, but it has very comfortable and high quality of life in terms of services and infrastructure, and it's on the way up in terms of its trajectory, because these countries are improving all the time. As I said, I came first in 2008, and it's just like night and day, the difference really between what it looked like then and what it looks like now. And yeah, for investing, doing business, and of course, if you're a single guy, which is going to be most of you who watch this, then this is the region in Europe where you're going to find the most modern beauty. And yeah, it's just not overrun by tourists in the same way. You don't have the passport bros coming here. So young, maybe ambitious guys chasing women, they don't come so much. Although probably some of them have started to come because I'm here a lot. So some have probably figured out that this is the spot to come to because I say it. But other than that, no, you don't have like in Warsaw where it's just like so pumped up and hyped up, and you just have all these young guys running around chasing the girls and not having much success, hardly any of them. I definitely think this is a better spot to come to if you are a single guy as well. That's why I bring my clients here more. I will be going with a client to Warsaw in the next couple of months, but otherwise, yeah, my plan is actually to continue bringing clients here. So yeah, write your comments and questions down below. I see that I actually kept this live stream. I forgot to put it public, so I don't know if it's actually public at the moment. When I started, I think it's actually only my mailing list are the guys who are going to see it live, unfortunately. So probably, since most of you are not seeing this now until I actually hit the publish button, I don't know if I can do this when it's on. I don't think I can, right? I just realized now that's what happened. So if you are the few guys who are on my mailing list who have joined it, then write your questions right now. If not, you're probably going to see this on replay. Tell me if you know much about Latvia and Lithuania, what attracts you or doesn't attract you about it. Would you come here? And yeah, what questions you have about it, since this live stream is obviously going to be quite short today. And spontaneous, I'm wearing my Lithuanian t-shirt. So yeah, I think this is a region. Let me just describe maybe a little bit more about our experiences. We were in Riga, it was the Saturday before last, off the charts in terms of nightlife. It was really crazy. I think I might have done a live stream the day after. I don't know how I was in any state to do it. I think I slept until 4 p.m. But yeah, that's the thing. Riga and the nightlife for crazy partying with a bunch of Baltic beauties. Yeah, it is the best spot for that. And then come here during the weekdays to recover and just enjoy the nice Lithuanian atmosphere. And yeah, kind of recuperate. Maybe that's the thing to do. I think that is going to be our modus operandi with this client in particular, because he loves Lithuania. We were here on the Friday night, but the nightlife compared to Riga it's not even remotely comparable. And that's because they zoned it here that everywhere is in one place and there's no kind of exclusivity on anything. All the tourists can find it. Whilst in Riga, what happens is all the tourists hang out in the old town. They all hang out together, basically, in these kind of tourist traps, and they don't figure out where actually all the local hotspots are. And if you put them into ChatGPT, not even you won't be able to Google them. ChatGPT does not identify them, because I put it in. Asking ChatGPT will just send you to the wrong places and waste your time. I guess having an insider, that's one of the values. And one of my other clients, or potential clients, because he hasn't become a client yet. But anyways, he told me that, yeah, I can't be replaced by ChatGPT, at least on that level, as we were discussing here in Vilnius and Riga. And he sent me what I said, man, these are none of the places you should go to. That's telling you. You'll be absolutely homeless if you follow it. Because how can it figure it out? It'd have to be able to, I don't know, scrape stuff off Instagram, and it'd be so complicated to figure out through it. And it probably doesn't have access to that information yet, at least. So maybe in the future you'll be able to ask ChatGPT. But anyways, in terms of implementing your strategy for coming to this region and just having an unforgettable time, then New York experience down below. And what else should I impart as information? I went to Daugavpils, second city of Latvia, where I did a few live streams from. I went to hang out actually with some Dutch students who were having their final weekend. I'd actually met them when I was there 2 months ago almost. And yeah, we had a good night out. It was good. It was a good decision to go party with them and actually enjoy Daugavpils. But I don't think, I can never say never, but I wouldn't be enthusiastic about going back there. It's very small. It's 80,000 people. It's very provincial. Yeah, it's not really for me. It's mainly Russian speaking and has a mixed culture with Belarusians, Poles, and even they're called Latgalians. It was another tribe in the Baltics, so they actually speak another, kind of like a different language to Latvian there. And yeah, there's some nice local quirks, but I just found it a bit too small and a bit too provincial. It's a town of 80,000 people. Had been 120,000 back in 1989 when the Soviet Union collapsed. So it has decent infrastructure and things to do, so it's fine for a day or two. But yeah, I just didn't find it really my scene. But anyways, I had a good night out on Saturday night, and then I ate some really tasty food there, local food. It's actually a bit similar to what they have in Lithuania, the cuisine. And yeah, then I said disvidus to Daugavpils, possibly for good. But let's see, maybe I go back one more day and film a little bit more about the, make a more comprehensive video about Latvia maybe. So I will leave it at that. New Europe experience down below. The link, if you're interested in where to go out here, you have, or some other bespoke advice, you have my consulting link down below. Also, you can shoot me an email at connor@connorklein.com. My email address is also down in the description to live stream. I'm drafting a guide here to Lithuania and Latvia, and it's not done yet, but I have drafted a good part of it, so you can write me for details about that. If you're interested in going to Ukraine or Moldova, I have the guides. You can purchase them down below. Should be in the description. Gives you all the hospitality that ChatGPT will not help you with, and it took me months of coming here and trying all this stuff to figure it out, so that will save you just a lot of time. So it's kind of a no-brainer if you're going to either Ukraine or Moldova to get those. Also, I have one for Warsaw, one for Kazakhstan, and yeah, the one for Warsaw is already completed. So again, you can write me for those other guides, connor@connorklein.com, or you can invest in a consulting call. And don't forget, New Europe Experience application form, I revamped it. It's down below. And let's go and have an unforgettable summer here in the Baltic states, whether it's Latvia or Lithuania. It's probably going to be Latvia and Riga with most of you. Some other place to go in the summer, they got a place in Latvia called Liepaja, I think is how you pronounce it. And here we have Klaipėda and down the Koronian Spit. And if you want that summer scene, another one advantage I should have mentioned about Riga is you have Jorma, which is seaside. That's a half-an-hour taxi drive from the center of Riga. So that's another thing. You can actually go straight to the beach in Riga. So that's another plus. So you can see which way I'm pushing you. I'm saying like Riga is really the place to go and party and have fun during the summer and also during the winter. But for a more relaxed, wholesome lifestyle, you can come here, or the recuperation during the week in Vilnius. But in any case, my client enjoyed both of them. He had a blast. And yeah, but our conclusion is for the weekdays here in Vilnius, for the weekends, go party hard in Riga. So I'll leave it at that, and I will push this live stream out in public because I made that mistake and only sent it to the few guys who are receiving it on my mailing list. So in any case, write me when you're watching a replay your questions, your thoughts about this region, about Latvia and Lithuania, and we'll catch up soon in another video. So ciao ciao from Vilnius in Lithuania.